Good
What's
evening,
up?
everybody.
Thank you for joining. I'm Pastor Michelle. This is my sweet husband, Pastor G. We are
Thank you.
spiritual relationship counselors with veterans of the United States Air Force, your go to couple for all things relationship. And tonight we are in here, like somewhere. Want you to know that we've been praying for you all and knowing that God is going to do just what He said. So we don't have to worry, we don't have to fear anything, right? Come
That's
on in
right.
here and
That's right.
let us talk tonight. And I shall
The
not
Lord.
be
Right.
moved.
That's right. What you gonna do to me?
Okay,
What you gonna do?
what are they gonna do?
Hey, everybody. Welcome
Who gonna
in here.
check me?
Welcome in. Y'all come on in, invite somebody. Let's
Yes.
go ahead and
And let's
talk a
talk
little bit
about
tonight.
this.
This week, we still need to press on with our lives.
Yes.
You know,
Amen.
one
Amen.
thing that you know about life is that things are going to change. In a little while, situation will change.
Sure will.
No worries.
No worries. Amen. So
No
come on in,
worries, Mom.
invite somebody. Hey, Deirdre, thank you for joining us tonight.
Kid,
Oh my goodness.
daughter,
So here it is. How about them folks homeschooling now, honey? y'all, y'all used to laugh at me. who who has the last laugh now?
Yeah, having to relearn some things. Yeah.
That is not comical.
Maybe calling for you to come in and could you come in and
You
sub
you
today?
you want me to advise? I can advise since I'm
That's right.
alumni.
You can do that from
I
your
could do
phone
that
or online.
remotely, right? So oh, that was so funny. Oh my God, I'm just this is a when I started homeschooling, my number one daughter, Janice, she was so super smart and it was incredible. And I thought to myself, what am I going to do with her? I can't wait until she's 5 because she was reading when she was 4 years old. And so here's the issue. Hey, Smith Decorate. Um, when you have a child that wants to do something, why are you telling them to wait? How can you just tell them to wait, right? And so she ended up, we started homeschooling her, like I said, when she was 3 and a half, and she was reading complete books, Dr. Seuss and things like that at 4 years old. And so, you guys, this is an opportunity. You all know we're all about relationships here.
Reach out, opportunity, you got to reach out
And grab them. Yes.
Gotta get it while it
getting is good.
Strike while the iron
And
is
it's
hot.
hot. Yes. And here's the thing. Some of you guys, you have not spent that time with your kids like you could. Okay. And not saying that you don't want to, not saying that you don't like them or anything like that. But the simple fact of the matter is everybody cannot afford to be at home with their kids. Absolutely. And so that's okay. There's some we had to make some adjustments. We had to we had to make some decisions. Instead of a 2-car family, we were 1-car family.
And one thing you realize that when you're having to school them, get them up, feed them, do pretty much everything for them, is that it is work. Yeah. It is not you get to stay at home with the kids.
No, ma'am, sir.
You're actually working. Hello, Pern.
And so, hey, Brother Pern. And so we need you guys to know that this is a time that you all be able to become more intimate with one another as husband and wife, become more intimate with your children, with those that are in your family, those people that you love. This is the time to get intimate. Intimacy back on track.
Come on.
So we are in here tonight. We're talking about the 5 R's of marriage and pre-marriage. Happy anniversary. Oh, thank you, Perry Pastors, Michelle and Gigi. Thank you, Kimmy Doll. Yeah, honey. We have been married 13 years. We don't have to say almost 13 anymore. We're moved into year number 14, and we've been doing this here on these platforms, especially on Periscope. Those of you that have been rocking with us for a while, you all have been with us here for at least 4 years. Okay? 4 years we have been doing this. And why do we do it? Because we want to educate you to those things that is going to help your relationships to work. Okay? We've got a 48% divorce rate. Every 13 seconds in the United States, someone is getting a divorce. Wow. Okay? And so how do we combat that? We have to be educated, number one. And then number two, we got to do the work. Because some of y'all know everything. Y'all know. You know everything. You know everything and you know everybody. You know Lenny because he has everything. You don't need and Squeaky, right? You know everything and you know everybody. But listen, until you decide that you're going to put in the work, it's not going to work for you. So we want you all to come on in, buckle down, share the broadcast, invite somebody. We want to talk about the 5 R's of marriage mindset.
Wow.
And y'all know this is what we do here. We're all about relationship, whether it's before I do or after I do. Everywhere in between, because we know that there is a formula that you can use. The Lord has put it down and he said, here you go. Here you go. What you going to do with it? And so we're going to have to do some work. Hey, Brother Jordan, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, man of God.
Where are you? Are you in Uvalde, Del Rio? Because down in Del Rio, there's a certain little place in Del Rio where you can hear the bullfights.
Oh,
and you hear the mariachis right on the other side of the border in Del Rio. So Southwest Texas. So when you say Southwest Texas, Uvalde. I mean, I remember riding the bus through there and hearing the bus driver, Uvalde, calling out the names. Anyway, just one of my memories. Love you all. Thanks for being here with us.
So $50 reminding the people. Thank you, darling. That we as marriagemakes3.com, this marriage makes the number 3.com. We do a free 15-minute encounter session. You may have an issue that you've got going on in your relationship. And what are we going to do? We're going to look you straight in the eyes. Well, not physically, but here over these platforms. And we're going to diagnose what you've got going on, give you a tool and a strategy that's going to help you to get your relationships on and popping, baby.
That's right.
All right.
Now listen, part of understanding, we have to understand that counseling and instruction, and when we do it is that we gear it for your particular needs. And it's so important to understand that the Bible said that in a multitude of counsel,
there's safety.
There's great wisdom.
Yes.
There's tremendous wisdom to be imparted to you. And sometimes all you need is a single word to change the course of your life. If you find that your relationship is failing, you're not sure where you're going in life or how to get there, sometimes all you need is that 15 minutes. Others may need a little extra time. And we would absolutely love to help you to get your relationships on and popping. Get your life on and popping. Some of you have not, you have not made a move beyond your bedside. You go to work and you come back home and you go to sleep and you get ready for work again. It's a routine. And I believe that God wants you to be fulfilled in what you're doing. If your work is not fulfilling, if your home life isn't fulfilling, you're missing out on those parts of life. You might need someone to help guide you through it. And that's what we do at Marriage Makes 3. So it's not just about marriage. It's preparing you for marriage. It's single. It's married. It's divorce. It's all points in between.
Because we understand infidelity, blended families. We're dealing with in-laws and outlaws, right? And so how do we work this thing out? We have to sit down and begin to check stuff out. You got to do some investigation. You got to do some triage, right? Even now that we're dealing with this pandemic, called coronavirus, CVOD, CDOV, whatever, COVID, whatever they are, right? You have to go and find out what is the symptoms. Is this something that you've dealt with before? Some people are dealing with seasonal allergies, and we're looking at them like they just good and crazy because they sneeze or cough. And so we have to come out of that place called fear.
You got corona. Put up the cross. Get your mask. Get your mask and put up the cross. Get the state. We're going to beat him to death before he has a chance to kill all of us. And it's funny. It's not funny in a way. But part of the panic, we were laughing about that the other day, and we were just saying, well, at least they're not going to shoot us if we sneeze. So, look, it's going to be all right. Thank you, David. It's COVID-19.
Thank you so much, Brother David. Brother David Jordan is also in Texas. Brother Purry, maybe you two need to connect. All right. Y'all need to connect. I mean, one great man of God, known him ever since we lived in Japan. Did y'all know we lived in all of us lived in Japan all together, and we had an amazing time. All right. So I wanted to remind you, Kimmy Doll is letting us know that we have for you this information. This is called Sex Connect. Yes, no, maybe so. You can find it on our site, or you can check the link in the bio, bit.ly/MM3LINKS. This is a communication guide, and it's also a sexual tool. Did she say a sexual tool? She said a sexual tool. Yes, she did.
She meant a sexual communication. We ain't gonna put no tools. People misunderstand that, and we have to stop it right now. See, people, you see that face, that expression. Somebody out there made an expression.
They already
said
did
that. They're like,
sucked all the air out the room.
Yeah, stop it before you hyper.
Get your life.
Put a brown paper bag over your. No. Breathe into a brown paper bag.
Do what you got to do. But listen, when we found out that we're dealing with this, not just the epidemic of that, but we have been dealing with an epidemic when it comes to husbands and wives not having sexual relations with one another. And we're trying to figure out, like, what's wrong with y'all? Because before you got married, y'all was running around here like rabbits. Y'all was running around here just following each other, looking at each other across the room. You were playing footsies in the home. You were getting flowers and getting sang to and all that. And then for some reason you got married. You finally went down that aisle and they forgot everything that they'd ever known. What is going on? We've got to stop this. We've got to bring the fire back, the flame back. If we do that, y'all, we'll get to that place where we'll say, you know what? I really do love you. And so over at marriagemakes3.com, we've got several things available for you. Some free downloads. One is called, for example, this Sex Connect is over there. You can download that for free. If you are out here in these streets and you're a dating person, you're out here checking out who's got the goods, who's got the 411, who's got the 29, 34, 29, 26. We're trying to find out where the biceps is and the triceps are. Where they at though? Where they at? Y'all remember that song? Who was that song that It's Raining Men? It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men. Donna Summer, somebody sang this song. We're out here looking for our mates. And if you don't know who you are, what in the world are you going to do with a husband or a wife, right? It wasn't the Village People. Was it? I don't think so.
No, it wasn't the Village People. It was a females.
Okay.
I think it may have been Donna Summer.
Okay. Thank you, Deidre. She put it up. Marriage Makes 3. Weather. Yes. Kimmy Doll. Okay. Kimmy Doll knows what I'm talking about. Maybe that was the name of the song. I can't remember. But you know, those are the things that we're out here in these streets dealing with and taking care of. She said the Weatherly Girls. So it is the weather. Okay. Thank you. And Brother Charles says the Weather Girls. Okay. I see. I had no idea. I don't remember names and stuff. Wow. All I remember is the rhythm of the beat. I remember rhythm.
I knew it wasn't the Village People. I was just being.
Rhythm of the night. Dun, 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 dun. Forget about your troubles and we can leave them all behind.
Is that a different song? That's a different song. Y'all name that tune. We're playing. Listen,
was it Gloria Estefan or maybe it was DeBarge or one of them? I can't remember. All right. So Brother David is saying that there are more single folks getting down than married folk. You better tell the truth and to shame the devil. We're doing it here, there, everywhere. We're doing it in a box with a fox. We're doing it on the plane, on the train. We are doing it here. We're doing it there, but we're single while we're doing it. Then we get married, and for some reason or another. Stove up. Okay. And this is how the covenant is. Grandma's gone and left the building. We have to learn that intimacy is more than sex, yes, but there's going to have to be a time that you actually engage. Period. Pastor G finally didn't know the song. Hello.
But look who did. I got
DeBarge. Come on now. El DeBarge. Thank you, Brother David. So y'all know what I was talking about. So this is why we do what we do, because when we renew the covenant with one another, what it does, we like each other better. And we've talked about this before. We like each other better. We're able to see each other's perspective. Hey, Nicole.
Yeah. And we can put up with each other's garbage. I mean, because, you are, your mate is going to be much more patient with you in some things. That's right. When you are expressing of intimacy. You're communicating with one another in that regard.
Yes. Okay. And so if you have not yet gone over to Marriage Makes Three or the bit.ly/MM3LINKS, you can get over there tonight, get you that free download called Dateology for those of you that are single and out here wanting to date, or maybe you're already dating. Find that over there, and you can also find Sex Connect. That is the yes, no, maybe so. That's going to help you, and it's going to help you tonight. Download it. It's absolutely free for you, all right? 7 Keys to Better Sex in Your Marriage is the first book that Pastor G and I wrote together, and we believe that in 7 days, in 7 ways, that you're going to get that thing back on and popping, all right? And we also wrote, before we get into the 5 R's of marriage mindset, we wrote this second book together. It's called Erogenous Zones, Exploring Marital Intimacy. And we call it the Intimacy Bible because we believe that everything that you need to get that fire back burning is inside the pages of this book. Hello. So find it over there as well. And thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you for sharing the broadcast. And thank you for being a part of #GD and me. All right. So if you guys are ready tonight, let me see those readies in the chat. As we start our content, we're talking about the 5 R's of marriage mindset. For those of you that don't understand it, there are different mindsets that people have when it comes to marriage. Absolutely. Did y'all know that? And one thing that we do for couples premaritally when we're doing counseling is we do an assessment on them. It's called the SYMBIS, which is Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts. The SYMBIS has about 24 different markers that you can find out the person that you are with, if indeed this is something that you want to continue with, something that's going to stand the test of time.
Regardless of what the SYMBIS says, and regardless of what we say, sometimes you can tell 2 people sometimes, and look, you all fight all the time. And then you fight some more. You go to bed to fight, and you wake up to fight again.
Yes.
And we just don't see you getting married, and they'll still do it. Yeah. Right? There are people who are going to take the SYMBIS, and maybe the results are not as favorable as they like. But the benefit of this is it shows you where you have to go to work.
Yeah.
It'll show you, and it will still work if you're
working. Okay, but you got to do the work.
Yeah, absolutely. All right? And so you have to start working before you start.
Yes, definitely.
You are already behind the power curve.
Yeah.
If you go in and you're already broke.
Oh,
okay.
Help us, Lord.
So let's go ahead.
We can't be unprepared with this. And that's the thing. We have to have if you want to drive a car, you got to go and take a test to get your license.
Absolutely.
If you want to fly a plane, you have to study, take the test before you get your license.
Doctors, you've got at least 4 years of medical, at least 4 after your basic education, 4 years.
Internship.
And then if you have a specialty, you're talking about even more advanced training.
Right.
And an internship. And so if you have to do all of that.
For that. Right. But listen, you can't even go down to the local pond and go fishing.
Come on.
Without a license.
That's the truth.
Okay. But we're out here, we're having children, we're putting families together, we're trying to take children from that relationship and this relationship, and we're throwing them together, and we're hoping that we throw it in the water and hope it's hope it swims.
Keep throwing it at the wall. Maybe it'll stick.
It'll stick, right? And so when we are talking to those couples that are about to be married, they got all these stars in their eyes. They're like, oh my God, I just love him so much. He's so amazing. He is so, oh my God. I don't even know. Okay.
Only have eyes.
She's amazing, Mom. Mom is looking at you like, boy, you must be out your mind bringing that health up in my house.
She like you.
She ain't nothing like me. I'm going to need you to get y'all in your life, right? And so we have to know before we get into it, that this is exactly what we want to be in. Not only that, we have to know what the other person's mindset is, because that is going to help us. Like you said, we can't be behind the curve anymore. If 48% of first marriages end in divorce and 78% of second marriages end in divorce, then there's some work that needs to be done, right? Absolutely. So we're going to get into this. Come on, invite somebody, share the broadcast, and let's talk about this tonight. The 5 R's of marriage mindset. So guys, go ahead and put in the R. Thank you for the readies. Put an R in the chat as we go through the first R.
Put a 1 R. Just one R.
1 R. Well, yeah, just one R. A
single R.
Not the heifer. Listen. You already know that somebody is going to tell their son that your girl ain't nothing like me. That's what you're trying to say. Just because what they say you got, what they talk about, your nose is open. The elderly people, the mature saints or something else, they say your nose is open.
Wide open.
And you brought that heifer up in my house. Yes, they will. They will sure say it, okay? So thank you all for putting those R's there in the chat, and for those of you that shared the broadcast. So the first R of marriage mindset is this, called resolute. When we're talking about, and listen, when we're telling you this, we are talking about what comes out of the symbol. All right, so you all are going to take the test, and each person is going to come up with one of these 5 R's. Okay, and that's how we know where you are as far as your mindset when it comes to marriage. All right, he said nose wide open. Ja, you are something serious.
And that comes from animals that are in heat, particular males, and their nostrils are flared, and they're in a fighting mood.
Okay. They're ready to get on down with the get down. Okay. So the first R is called resolute. Resolute. It reminds me of at the end of a funeral, usually someone will come and give you a resolution, right? A resolute, that means it's the end. It's final word that is going to be spoken. There are some people that are resolute. Their mindset is resolute. They want to be married. They know. Yes, it's not a question. It's not a thought process. It's not a wish or desire. They know, because some people are like that, honey. They come here already with a mindset of what they want. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to become a nurse, a lawyer, a doctor, a mechanic, a healthcare worker, whatever. And then they say that after I finish my 4 years of college, then I am going to find someone and I'm going to settle down with that person. We're going to be married and we're going to have 2.5 children. I'm going to have this type of a car. We want to live in this particular neighborhood. I mean, they've really got their whole life pretty much mapped out. You come along and they decide which one of you is going to be the one, okay? But once they get married, this is the thing that I love about the resolute mindset. We're married and we're staying married. I don't care. It's going to be till death do us part, whether you die or I got to kill you.
I have to help you along.
Okay? Whether you die or if I have to kill you, that I am resolute in this thing. There is nothing else. There is no divorce. And I've heard one couple that I believe the first couple that I ever did their wedding ceremony. I said, we really need to sit down and discuss some of these things, because I'm telling them that people are still getting divorced. And the gentleman was like, huh? Divorced?
Adamant.
What are you talking about? I mean, he said it like I was cussing him out, honey. It was so hilarious. But I kind of liked it in a way because I knew that he meant business. You know what I'm saying? Some people, they get into, and we're going to get into that, the reasons why some people get into marriage. Some are getting into it for financial reasons. Some are getting it for logistic purposes, all of those things. But when you have a resolute mindset, you are one of those that you already knew before you went out the gate that I'm going to be married. This has been set. This is a part of my destiny. This is a part of my purpose. And I am here for this. Period, with a T on the end. Sister Kim said, Yahtzee, that's what we said. Divorce is not an option for us. We're going to battle it out. We're going to fight it out. We're going to talk it out. We're going to sex it out. We're going to do whatever it takes so that we are still together at the end of the day. Okay? So please, ma'am, please, sir, realize that if you're getting together with someone with a resolute mindset, that you really need to know that this is what you want to do. They're going to do everything possible, whether it's counseling, whether it's being apart for a little while and figuring things out. You might have one part of the house and they have another, but we're going to be up under the same roof. And that's all there is to it, right? So remember now, the resolute mindset is one that is resolute. It's the final word. Nothing else. There ain't nothing else. We just gonna sit here and look at each other and die if necessary. But we are staying together. Okay. Let me see the number 2 in the chat. Number two. As we move on to the second R of marriage mindset. Kim says, I also told him he can't die for 50 years either. At least 50. Yeah. Hey, Chef John, thank you for joining us tonight.
And I can tell you that the key with a resolute is that you both have to have the same level of resolute. You both have to be resolute.
Has a certain amount.
One of them has it.
Yeah.
But the other one has a back door in mind, has a clause, has a prenup.
They have an out. Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes that becomes a problem.
Maybe their family tells them, look, you're not going to inherit this if you're still married to him.
Okay.
You know, as the case may be. So you both want to be resolute.
Yes.
And even that you still need to have some direction.
Because you need to know not just where you are, but you need to know where that other person is.
Critical.
Okay. So she said, Kim says, oh, thank you for the R's in the chat. Bail money and a lawyer. You're going to need before you get up out of this. Amen. Right? So here is R number 2 when we're talking about the 5 R's of marriage mindset.
So drop 2 R's.
2 R's. R.
Thank you, Kimmy. Kimmy's already had it.
You got a vote. The second mindset is called the rational mindset. And when we say rational, what we're saying is even the core of the word, ration. Hey, bless up. Thank you for joining. Hola, ¿cómo está usted? Thanks for coming in, daughter. And thank you guys for sharing the broadcast. The ration, when we're talking about, back in the day when it was, you had to have a certain amount.
That's right. A portion. Some places, even today, water is rationed. Certain times of the year, water is rationed.
True that.
Gasoline.
Y'all remember
in the early 70s, gasoline was rationed.
That's
for the first time
because
in my life.
I remember some of that too. And I remember that you can only go between certain hours and you could only get a certain number of gallons of gas.
That's right.
And so we had to ration things out. We knew that I'm going to need a square toilet paper for today and a square toilet paper for tomorrow.
Yeah, and we read recently where someone rationing milk, someone had a whole.
They had 2 cartons full of milk. What are you doing with
2 carts?
2 carts at the grocery store, right? R. Thank you so much for putting both of those R's there. Kim, yes, just like now, we have to ration some things out, but it's not mandated. You all see, there is no shortage of food or toilet paper, but our mindsets have moved to a place of fear. So people start hoarding stuff because they're afraid that they might not have it. So here's what the when we talk about the rational mindset, when we're talking about marriage mindsets, the rational mindset is that person that's going to guard their heart. That I might ration out a little bit to you, but I'm not going to give it all to you because I need to see first where you're coming from. I'm not going to be out here in these streets all in love with you and then mess around and find myself at a deficit.
Down and out. I'm not going to be taken advantage of.
Yes.
So I'm going to, and ration means to limit.
Yes.
I'm going to limit my exposure to you.
Definitely.
You can have, I'll spend some time with you, but you can't have my heart.
Right. Okay. Until I know for certain, AIA, the next big thing, that you are the one that is for me, that this is not a one-way relationship, that I'm not just giving, but I need to be receiving something as well. And so the rational mindset when it comes to marriage says that I'm protecting my heart. And not only am I protecting my heart, those with a rational mindset when it comes to marriage, they are very what's the word I want to say? They're very guarded. They're very much, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to be just out here flinging cravings. For the most part, they are those ones that you find. We were listening to something earlier tonight. And our spiritual daughter, Amber Dawn, she said, she showed me a little video, you know, Alive. And this gentleman was talking to a woman and she's a virgin. And he was like, wait a minute, you mean you ain't never gotten out? And she said, no, sir, because the way that I was brought up, we were taught that we keep ourselves until we are married, right? And he was like, wait a minute, so you mean to tell me that if you get wiped out with the virus, that you're going to go to heaven and never have had sex? And she was like, that's right. That's the way that we do things. Guarded. This is something of value. My heart is one that I'm not going to just put it out there for any and everybody to use and abuse. All right. Bless Up said that's how it's going to be again if these idiots keep wiping the shelves out. Yes, ma'am. 8 p.m. curfew and people done lost their whole entire mind. That part, Kimmy Dog. Bless Up says it has corona. Yes, corona is everywhere. Corona is just like the flu.
West Virginia had their first case
today,
and they got more than that. Sure.
Yes, and so it's the flu. We have to know that it's nothing new under the sun. We've always dealt with flus, different strains, and that's what it is, a different strain of the flu. And so we have to be careful. If your immunity is compromised, you have cancer, you got a infectious, a disease that is going to keep you from being 100%. Then you need
respiratory issues.
Yes.
You're prone to infections, pleurisy, asthma. Any of those kinds of things can mean elderly.
Yeah.
You know, if you're already having trouble with blood pressure and diabetes and all of those things, you're in a weakened condition.
Right.
And it makes you more susceptible.
But you know what? Those people are also susceptible to the common cold and every other flu that's out there.
True.
And so we cannot be a people that are out here afraid of everything.
That's right.
We just take precautions. No panic. Just take those precautions. All right. So here we go. Hey, Danielle, thank you for joining us, sweetheart. We appreciate you coming on in. All right. So the rational mindset is going to guard their heart. When it comes to romance, they're not the ones that you're going to find all up in the sky. Oh my God, he called me. Oh my God, he gave me a piece of bubble gum. Really? And we're gonna talk about you here pretty soon too.
You're gonna be a cheap date. Bubble gum. You excited over bubble gum?
We're gonna talk about you too. And it's okay. We understand because people have different ways that they're brought up, different personality types, which is something that we talked about in Dating 101. We talked about the different personality types and how they interconnect with another one. So when you know that a person is a certain type of way, when you go in, then when they continue that way, then you know, cause we get nose blind. We get nose blind to how the people are after we marry them. You know, we've got folks, honey.
Smell what?
What? I don't smell nothing. Yeah, they were farting. Yes, they were before you got married. Trust me when I tell you this. The average person farts at least 14 times per day. Okay, and it's a natural process.
Maybe you sweet.
I'm not going to play with y'all, not tonight. I'm not going to play with y'all. Y'all, let me see those 3 R's in the chat. 3 R's. Y'all, we are here tonight. We are talking about the 5 R's of marriage mindsets. I'm Pastor Michelle. This is my sweet husband, Pastor G. We're spiritual relationship counselors. We're veterans of the United States Air Force, your go-to couple for all things relationship. Want you to know that you can go to the link in the bio, bit.ly/MM3LINKS, and there you can find all of the free and the resources that we have available to you, whether you're single, you're married, and everywhere in between. Tonight, we're talking about the 5 R's of marriage mindset. Now, we went through number 1 and number 2, and so now we're asking for those 3 R's, and thank you for those that are putting that in there. Thank you for those that are inviting your followers and sharing it on Twitter and on the Facebook. Y'all know y'all at home. They're at the house. They're bored to pieces. They would do well to be in here with us so that they can learn, so we can learn them something. So we can learn them something. That's some of the stuff that the shenanigans that goes on here in the South. All right, so we can learn them something. Kimmy Doll says, I say we should always buy our daughters some type of diamonds. That way they are not taken for rhinestones. True. Amen. Understandable. And yeah, I can get with you on that. Amen. Give them something so that their eyes aren't like, oh my God, he bought me something. Look, you got to come better than that, sir. My daddy already bought me a diamond. What? Yes, sir. And so, because my daddy already let me know that I'm a princess on my way to being a queen, I don't have to sit out here and wait for no man to come to bring me empty things. Come on now. Amen. Thank you for those R's in the chat. Number 3 R, when we're talking marriage mindsets, we talk about now the romantic. Oh my God. There's somebody out there and they're waiting just for me. We've got this, this Cinderella story. Yep. His big white horse. Come on, white horse.
Going to carry me off into the sunset, and we'll live happily ever after.
We're going to have white picket fence and a house in the country. And while we're out there, we're going to have a dog and a cat. And they're going to play together.
Children will have perfectly straight teeth and be above average.
And they won't have any kind of problems with their behavior at all. We're going to have tea and crumpets at noon every day. And we're all going to just have an amazing time.
It's a soap opera. Wake up.
The lies from the book of lies. That's what the book showed them. That's exactly right. Bless up says, I'm waiting on my Prince Charming, flying down like Magic Knight in shining armor. Yes, the romantic. Yeah, we did. We was just acting like we didn't see that because I didn't want to be shady and stuff. But it is what it is.
To the delinquency
of a minor. Well, she's an adult, but you know what we saying. We're trying to keep it holy up in here. All right. So here it is. The romantic mindset is that one that you're one of those that feel like there's a soulmate out there for you. That out of all the people in the world, the 6 billion plus people, there is one certain somebody that's just there waiting for me. That we're going to come together and it's just going to be magical and everything is going to work out perfectly.
When the planets align.
Oh,
finish my degree in the south of France and I take my journey, then the planets will align and we'll meet. And it'll be magical. Romantic. Romantics live in a fairy tale type existence. Believing that there's only one. And the problem that if you're daydreaming, you may miss the real thing while you're waiting on the imaginary. Oh man, that was so good. Come on, baby. Give me some. On that. Right. I'm not 100%, but that was good. You're good. I ain't mad at you, baby. I'm not mad at you. Bless up said that sounds like my retard delusional stepmom. Oh my goodness. Lord. You're not holding anything. Whatever you want to call her, you are a mess. I'm just playing. You silly. Kim says, and there may be, but you have to be ready when he or she comes. And you know, we have a different mindset when it comes to that. And we talk about that in Dating 101. We really do. I'm playing about that. I said, but not what I said about my stepmom or whatever you want to call it. You're so silly. Yeah. See, the problem is if you, and I know we're going to talk about it more. If there's just one and she dies, what's left? Right. Or they're already married. Is that it? Yeah. What if they're already taken? You know, where do I go from there? So we know that there must be an idea somewhere that there's more than one person that can fit the bill. Yes, that amen. Bless up said, I need mine flying down with money falling from his cape. James Brown. You're so silly. I mean, you need Lenny. Lenny has everything that you could ever need inside of his trench coat. And it's not a cape, it's a trench coat. My name is Lenny. And you ain't seen Lenny. You ain't got any. All of his gold teeth. Right? Oh my goodness, you guys are a mess. I love it. Let me see the 4 R's in the chat. The R. We're talking the 5 R's of marriage mindset tonight. And we want you all to know that we are here for you before and after I do. I'm Pastor Michelle. This is Pastor G. We're spiritual relationship counselors, veterans of the United States Air Force. We're local pastors. We're authors. We're mentors. Everything that you need in somebody, you can get it in both of us. Over 50 years of, between the two of us. Amen. Because we ain't that old. Over 50 years between the two of us of relationship expertise. And I want you to know that we are here for you. Before I do, after I do, infidelity, blended families, you're dealing with trauma from your past, any and all of those things, we're here and we're going to try our very best to help you to get past so that you can have all that God intended for you in this life. All right. Kim said, my sister-in-law said she refuses to marry again because she had the love of her life. Amen. Wow. Amen. She was definitely romantic. But this is after the fact. Some of us are going in with that and learning that other person, that's not where they were. All right. Thank you for the R's in the chat. Kim's Bless Up says, Kim, if you only could hear her, she sound delusional as heck. Y'all are a mess. Love it. Here is our number 4 when we're talking about marriage mindset. This one is called the restless mind. Okay, restless. Yes, like the young and the restless. Got somewhere to go. Always something else to do, somebody else to see, somewhere else to go. Kim says, y'all ain't even 50 years old. How you got 50 years in ministry, ma'am and sir? Thank you. Hey, see, this is why we keep you, Kimmy doll. This is why we keeping you, darling. We need people like you in our lives. That's going. Yes, that's amen. 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 Let the church say amen again. Amen. All right. Here we are. The restless mindset. This is a person they're really not ready at all to be married. Okay. Furthest thing from their mind, they still feel like they have some oats to sow. We'll find that this person is one that, and this is one thing that we have to deal with when we're talking about couples. Sometimes you have a couple where the two of them, you can tell that there's love there for each other.
But then the woman ends up being on the receiving end of infidelity in the relationship, right? And here's the problem is that she begins to feel like something is wrong with her. Yeah. She begins to feel like she's inadequate. She becomes insecure. There's all sorts of issues that end up dealing within her. That's right. It had nothing to do with her. Absolutely. But why did he marry me? And this is the question. Why did he marry me if he wasn't ready? Because he's got a restless mindset, baby girl. He knows, all right, that he loves you. And see, this is why it's so important that you be able to identify the different, right? Yes. That's right. If the guy you're with or the girl that you're with always got somewhere else to go, got something else to do, they don't have time to sit down and have a good quality conversation with you without the phone ringing and them becoming distracted. A person who is restless is easily distracted, easily lulled away or pulled away. And you have to be able to recognize it to keep from falling for one another. Yes, and knowing that there's a possibility that if the things don't line up properly, that there could be some issues. And that's the whole thing is going into the relationship, realizing that either this person, I'm going to be the one that ends up on Snap, or I'm going to be the one that is sitting back waiting for them to settle down. When we talk about the restless mindset, this is a person that they just want to, girls just want to have fun. Oh, girls just want to have, they want to have fun. They want to still be able to have you at home. And what I was saying about gentlemen is that some of them are marrying you ladies because they love you. And because they love you, but they're not ready to be married, but they know that you are ready to be married. I'm sorry. You're throwing stuff at me. You're ready to be married, and you may have given them an ultimatum. You may have said, if we're not married within 6 months to a year, then I'm out of here. I need to find somebody that I want to marry. Well, they don't want you to marry anybody else because you are their soft pillow to fall back on. You are the person that's keeping them grounded when they need to be grounded. You're the person that they know that if they go out and come back beaten, battered, and torn by the world, by their job, by their parents, by whomever, that they're coming back home. And they know that you're right there. You poor baby. I'm so sorry. Let me help. What do you need? Are you hungry? Yeah. Okay. And so here's the problem. Is that with that mindset, though, you're the one that's sitting back having to wait to see when they settle down. These are gentlemen that don't settle down until they're in their 50s and 60s. They're married to you. They love you, but they're still going to be out here playing the field, sowing their oats. And so you have to make a decision before you go into this relationship. Are you ready to sit back and wait for that to happen? Let me drop this for you. For those of you who are anticipating and who are really not in tune with these kinds of things, is that we know of a person in 70s. I say a person, but there are a number of persons in 70s who mind is gone bad, on a limited set income that is meant for his upkeep. But the moment he gets money, he calls her and his money is gone. Yep. And so he's relying on his kids to take care of him for the rest of the time. Yep. So you have to understand that there's a restless person out there who's never going to come in. They're never going to settle down. They're always going to be who they are. Unless, listen, there's hope. There's hope for everybody. There has to be a significant spiritual or emotional event that's going to bring him in. Okay? It's going to really take something. Now, and some people, sadly enough, they still never get it. So you don't want to be the person who's sitting around waiting. That's why you need to ask questions. You need to be part of MM3 right now. Yeah. You need to be involved in some sort of, as soon as you think that, look,
I'm starting to think that I might want to be married someday.
Right. Yes.
Get into something where someone is sowing into you and putting into you so you'll know what to look for.
Amen. That part.
And what to avoid.
That part. Okay. Kim says they still got Similac on their breath. But you get married. Yes. Hopefully, Bless Up says, I find my Prince Charming while we on quarantine. You not Similac. She said, I'm screaming. Or Kimmy Doll says he beats on her because he feels trapped. Come on.
Wow. That's a powerful reality right there.
Okay. But she said she just playing. You are a mess.
Or she beats him because she feels trapped. Gave me all these kids. I'm gonna beat the crap out of you. You don't want to settle down and stay home? I'm gonna break a leg.
Have you heard of Misery? You heard that movie with what's her name? Linda Bates?
You going where?
Well, how about you?
You may limp out that door. They may have to carry you out to the hospital, but you're coming back. and James Caan. James Caan.
Okay. Oh my goodness, I love that movie. I thought that was amazing. Bless Us says, Barbara, this is Shirley. I'm not grounding nothing. You want him, come and get him. Come on. Mama, I reordered my steps so we can laugh about it. Oh, okay. Thank you. Kim says, if you're in an abusive relationship, absolutely call. The number is the national hotline for domestic abuse and violence is 1-800-799-SAFE. And listen, when we're laughing, we're not laughing at the situation. We're not laughing at you. We're laughing because the situation becomes one that seems almost ridiculous. And we need you to be safe, regardless of where you are or what part of the relationship that you are in. Okay. Sister Shirley said, let the beatings commence.
No, that was the strangest thing. I saw Bless Up say, Barbara, this is Shirley. And I wanted to say, now, we have our own Shirley. And then lo and behold,
here she comes. That's all right. Look at God.
Thank you. Love you.
So guys, let's see the 5 R's in the chat. The fifth one. Put that fifth R.
Roll those R's. That's pretty good, baby.
All right.
I like Eartha Kitt, honey. Catwoman. Go ahead. See those claws. See claws. Nails. Oh man. We're gonna leave the broadcast.
Oh, my God.
Batman's cake.
I'm not going to play with you, sir. All right.
I'm feeling better.
Shirley.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much for coming in and being a part. We appreciate y'all. And those of you that have shared and invited someone, thank you so much for being a part of GD and Me and Marriage Makes 3. We're talking tonight about the 5 R's of marriage mindset. We talked about the resolutes, the rationals, the romantics, the restless, and lastly, amen, finally, we talk about those that are for reluctant. Oh my God, what? Get married for what? Wait, what?
Come all the way to the altar
and
in handcuffs. Hands behind his back, shotgun in the small of his back. That dude is reluctant.
Okay.
I tell you what.
Yes. They don't really want to do it, the meaningful marriage. Thank you for joining. They don't really want to do it. But they feel some sort of pressure from whether it's one or the other side of the family, whether it's from a relationship that they are involved in. But they, there are those people. A dead rabbit, dead rabbit on the line. Y'all know what a dead rabbit is, right? Yes, that means somebody happened to become pregnant because there was not the protections that were necessary were not in place, or they were in place, but something happened. Bless Up says, whoops. Amen. She wasn't talking about this, but whoops, sometimes you have a whoops. And sometimes y'all, and I hate that it happens this way, but there are those women out here and men that they want you so badly that they figure that the way to keep you is for them to get pregnant or for them to impregnate you. There are men out here in these streets that will tear a condom put a pinhole in it just so that their little guys can swim to their prize, because they want you, and they figure that if indeed they do it that way, that you're always going to be a part of their life. There's always going to be a connection. Okay. Some of our ladies are out here. How do we keep them? Pregnant Paula, we've talked about her before as well. And so when we're talking about the marriage mindset, there's some people that are reluctant. They're like, I never want to get married. That was never on their radar. Not ever did they think about getting married, never did want to get married. There are some people that they're 75 years old out here talking about their significant other. 75 years old talking about we go together. What? You go together where? To the nursing home? Sir, ma'am, what are we really out here doing? Why is it that there is such a reluctance that they shy away from? And for the most part, those are the people that say that they don't really want any children. Okay. Yeah. They're like, for what? You know, you do you, I do me. What we need to get married for? Netflix and chill.
I got my place. You got your place.
That
we want to get together. We can get together at either place.
Right. And then be done with it. Kim says it's just a piece of paper. Yes. Married in jail, literally or by force. Yes. And some of those are, like my husband said, with a shotgun in the small of their back, going towards the altar because somehow, some way, the parent, somebody's daddy found out that you were having sexual relations with their daughter, and you're not going to just get away with doing this to my daughter and just being off the hook. We're not going to do it. And so if you are one of those and you're getting married, imagine you're resolute and someone with a reluctant mindset come together with you. We have a problem, Houston.
Here again, this is why it's important that you know those marriage mindsets. Know which one you are.
Yeah.
And know which one that you need to be avoiding. Now, listen, you can work through either one.
True.
There may be a person who is resolute, and we'll talk about that at another time.
Yeah.
But you need to be able to,
amen,
to recognize this.
Renee Chandler says, I can't get pregnant. Thank God. I love it. Kimmy said, I knock them up. He or she is mine and they will stay forever. Wow. You know what? But here's the problem is that even when you're dealing with a child that is in play, that is never something that is going to keep two people together. Imagine 48% of first marriages end in divorce, and there's usually some child or children involved. And if 78% of second marriages also end in divorce, then what are you dealing with? You're dealing with not only children from the first marriage, but you could be dealing with one from a second. Okay. And so the children is no guarantee that a person is even going to be with you.
There's if I knock them up, he or she will be mine forever. We'll stay together forever.
Nope.
There's an old song around the same time as Betty and Shirley recorded their duels. A song that said, hooked, hog-tied, and collared.
Oh,
hooked, hog-tied, and collared. Barefoot and pregnant.
Yes.
In the kitchen.
Ain't nobody got
time.
In
the bedroom.
Ain't nobody got time.
So you have to know what you're dealing with.
Right.
Folks, you must know what you're dealing with. Charles?
Sir John said, some will go to the grave never marrying again after divorce. That's very true. But they live like they're married.
Yes, sir.
And then you find out.
Special friend. Special friend.
Ma'am, you are 75 years old. Why do you still have a special friend? And listen, here's the issue. Silly.
Go play bingo. We'll go to the casino together.
Here's the issue, though, honey, with that. Some of these people, they're not getting divorced.
Oh.
So they're still married.
Wow.
But they've been with someone else for 15 and 20 years. And then something, God forbid, happens and they die. And now you get listed in an obituary as a quote unquote special friend, and the wife or the husband by paper gets to make the decisions.
Oh, come on.
Okay. And this, yeah, we got to get our business together because we never know what and when something is going to take place. You don't want to leave something to someone that you don't even want to look at.
Yeah.
Right? And so we have to go in and make sure that we take care of our business. And that's the problem, is a lot of us, we're allowing things just to keep going and going until it just kind of, we figure it's going to work itself out. Those things never work themselves out.
You have to handle your business before it handles you.
Yes.
And some of you today, you know of someone who is long-term departed from the family.
Yeah.
But they would never get a divorce.
Right.
But they'll come around and say, you know, you'll always be mine. We're going to always belong to each other. Or they'll show up at the reunion for a plate. You know, it sounds funny. Right. It sounds so funny. But if we expect our children to know who they are, our grandchildren, their grandchildren, keep from marrying their first cousin, you know, we have to handle our business.
Yes. All right. The reluctant mindset. Wait, Bless Up says, like Joe did at the time of marriage, don't do it. She got 7 kids. Who is Joe? Oh my God. They dating in the nursing home, Kimmy says, big time. They got multiple girlfriends passing STDs and worms.
Oh my. Wait. Kimmy.
Not worms.
Oh Lord, no.
Not worms. They not passing worms. They passing worms. Y'all.
Oh Lord. What are they doing? Oh my Lord.
They passing cooties and worms. Oh. Y'all doing too much. All right, blessings. As soon as you get pregnant, I'm gonna have leave remix to Lil Baby. You are a mess. At the funeral. Oh no.
Showing up at the funeral. Who is that guy? Oh.
That was his special friend.
I'm supposed to be up there with the family.
Who is you? I was his special friend.
That's my wife. They paid no insurance.
Okay. But they sure going home with the money.
Yep.
Believe it or not, sometimes when little boys get girls pregnant, it actually scares them. It does. But you know what?
They should have been scared before.
That part.
I'm just saying.
You just say, yep. And the former spouse comes through and take everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly what you're saying.
Amen. Let's see. She said the lies. Wait, what? Oh, from Medea. Oh my goodness. Joe from Medea. Y'all are a mess. Let's see. Josh said in worms. Yes, that's what
we're still trying to work that one.
That's what they said, and worms. And so, y'all, the issue is that if we don't know what the other person's mindset is, hey Dutch, how are you, lady? Thanks for joining. If we don't know what that other person's mindset is, then we can fall into that trap where we are with someone and we are trying to make things work, and the other person could care less about what's going on. When you're talking about a person that has a reluctant mindset, when we're dealing with marriage mindsets, here's the problem. Sometimes what is going on is that they have seen examples in their lives that told them, look, if this is what marriage means, if that's what the piece of paper is going to do, I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want to be trapped. I don't want to be the one that has to deal with all of what I saw. And so there's also trauma that has possibly gone on when that person was a small child. Maybe they saw their parents dealing with things in a certain way and they said, you know what? Time out, baby. I'm never, ever going to do that. If that's what it's about, I don't want anything to do with it. All right.
So if you're a reluctant mindset and you fall in love with someone, it's hard to break through that. And you need, that's a trauma.
Yeah.
That's a trauma that you need help working through.
Absolutely.
And it's not an impossible situation. None of these are impossible.
Right.
But you have to work it before it works you.
Yeah. Come on.
Okay. You have to get help.
Kimmy says, what? Yes. Sister Shirley says they doing way too much. They need to slow. You need to slow it down. Kim says, I have seen that happen before. Shaking my head. It's so sad to see that happening to someone who has been there for 20 to 30 years and they end up with absolutely, I put the absolutely nothing. Okay, that you're sick in the hospital, you're dying, and there's an order in place, and somebody needs to make a decision, and the person that's there helping you all along can't make that decision for you. And some snake went to another state and got whoever it was that brought it back and said, I need you to make this decision because they got a dog in the fight. Okay.
And listen, if you are in a situation, you have a loved one is in a situation who has been through a divorce, who has been deserted a long time ago.
All right.
Check the policies right now.
Yeah.
Because if your loved one is paying policies every week or every month, whatever the case may be, raking and scraping and sacrificing to do that, you do not want that to happen to them.
Amen. Okay.
And you may say, look, I'm coming out of my grave if you show up. You ain't coming back. Take care of it while you're living.
While you have an opportunity.
Don't leave your family holding the bag while somebody runs off with what you work to accomplish.
Kim says, especially if they see their fathers beat their mother or beat the kids, the sons says, I'm not going to be like my dad. Yeah. Folk get divorced, Sir John said, and forget to change beneficiary designation.
What I'm saying.
401ks, IRAs take name off of accounts. Yes. And you have to have the divorce decree because some places you're not going to be able to take a person off until there is a decree.
That's right.
Advance directive required. Yes. Amen. You're telling them to do whatever you can to save the person because you love them. And the other person comes in and puts in a DNR order and says, no, don't you dare resuscitate this human being because I'm on their 401k and I want my money. Right. Blessed Up says, what if they give him the death stare and you're just ready for one to go with the burial paid? He's so silly. Yeah, your name is the beneficiary. Then cook the sweet potato pie. Oh my goodness. She said, if your name is you are listed as the beneficiary, then you need to go. That's what Medea teaches us, to go ahead and cook the sweet potato pie. So they can go on into glory so I can get my money and be down at the bingo parlor by 5 p.m. I believe you should update those things every month, especially with everything going on now. Well, listen, if you are with someone that you love, you're married to them, then there shouldn't have to be a constant update.
And that's what we are pushing for.
That's right.
That's what we want.
Yes.
For you, that you're with somebody there.
Come on, John. John said, and wills do not trump designations. You might put somebody in your will, and this is what he's talking about. You can put someone in your will all you want. But when the state comes in and they're looking at your estate, they're going to say, well, no, this person that has that decree, that has their marriage certificate, they trump what you wanted because their designation is that of spouse. That designation of child, sometimes that will trump, it's definitely going to trump significant other.
And so that's where you want to make sure that if the child belongs to someone, that their name
is on it. Amen. So
take
care of your stuff before your stuff takes and handles you. All right. So, guys, we thank you all so much for being a part of our broadcast of hashtag GDNme. We talked tonight about the 5 R's of marriage mindset. One of the things we do as marriage and relationship counselors is that before a person gets married, and we found out that 30% of people that have premarital counseling, what happens with them is at that 5-year mark where everybody else is seeming to fall apart, when divorces become prevalent, they are together, happy, doing the work of the relationship. And so that's why we advocate for premarital counseling. You need a license to go fishing. You need a license to become a doctor, a nurse, a technician. You need a license. And so before you go into a marriage, don't you feel as though education has to be the key? That you will know before you go what types of things that you're going to meet along the journey so that you can be prepared for those things and know how to navigate around them. Bless up says, and if there's no will, the family about to fight over everything down to the tissue paper. Yes, amen. You are absolutely correct. All right. So the Simbas, hey, Sasha Leader, thank you for joining. The Simbas, saving your marriage before it starts, is one of the things that we offer to you on our site, marriagemakes3.com. Over there, you will be able to sign up and get, excuse me, get first your free 15-minute encounter session, because you want to make sure that we are somebody, and we need to make sure that you're somebody that we can work with. Because listen, just because you put your money in, and that don't mean because we can give it back. All right. So here's the thing. When we're talking about saving your marriage before it starts, before you go and pay for the hall, the venue, the cake, before you pay for the dress and all of those things, make sure that you're carving out some time and some finances. Okay, we do a free 15-minute encounter session, but when we're talking premarital counseling, we're in there for 6 to 8 weeks. Okay. 6 to 8 weeks, so that we can help you to make sure that everything that you can encounter, that you know it and you're able to deal with it. All right. Hi from Canada. Thank you for joining. I'm watching with my husband and my cat. Hey, Miss Lisa. Hey, husband. Thank you so much. Or they get the parent to sign something that leaves one child everything. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Ja, for putting that in the chat. If you are one of those that are in need of premarital, postmarital infidelity, hi from the Philippines. The Lord bless you. I've got friends in the Philippines. Yes, we want you to know that we are available to you. You can find us at Marriage Makes 3, or check that link, bit.ly/MM3 links. You have some free things there. You're able to contact us there. And one of the things that we have on sale right now is the Simbas. Now, listen. You and your spouse, your intended, and that's whether you've been married before or this is your first marriage. You're going to go through the questions. It takes about 20 minutes for each person. Okay, each person 20 minutes to go to your corners, and you're doing it online, and so it automatically will go ahead and do the assessment, and it's going to give us the results. We're going to sit down with you. If there's anything that we see that there's a red flag on, we're going to sit down with the two of you. And we also have one session where we sit down with each of you separately. Because some of you got some stuff that you really aren't sure how to deal with or how to even talk to the other person about. Okay. And we understand there are some things that are hurtful. There's some things that are traumatic, things that we have dealt with in our past. And we feel like we're never going to be able to get past, or that the other person, or that the other person may reject us because of what we dealt with. Okay. And so here's the thing. We go through almost 24 dimensions when it talks about marriage and relationship. Before I do, we talk about the marriage mindset, which is what we talked about here tonight. We talk about the concept of self. God bless you, love you. Thank you so much. We talk about maturity, independence. I'm just going to list them off. Longevity, stability, similarity, stress.
Psychological caution flags, cohabitation, unrealistic expectations.
Yes.
Baggage, social support.
That part.
In-law relationship.
And outlaws. All right. Cultural context. We have people that are coming together from two separate cultures, and you have absolutely no idea how to bridge the gap. We talk about spiritual beliefs. Did you know that those that have a religious connection, that they go to church, to temple, to mass, whatever, that has a stronger solidifying aspect when you're talking about marriage? You can find that on marriagemakes3.com. I believe we have something there that talks about religion and marriage and relationship. We talk about your finances.
Role expectation.
Wait, why do you do finances so quick?
You were singing about it. Go ahead.
Because finances,
one of the top
3, communication, and sex. And so we have to talk about finances. That's right. Some of y'all, I'm not even going to tell you.
Come
on in and get your premarital counseling. All right. Finances, role expectations, personalities, which we also talk about that when we did the dating 101, dishing the basics of dating over there with the dateology. All right. Love, sex.
We're singing about the
top three items, right? We have to discuss these things. Some of us, we have had, a whole black book full of conquests,
all kinds of,
right? And sometimes we're coming together and we're dealing with, because of the premarital sexual relations, that there are some things that we're bringing with us that we're gonna have forever. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it funky.
Some of that baggage, some other habits and proclivities,
and so you all need to deal with that. Imagine someone that has been out here sexually active since they were 9 and 10 and 12, and then you've got that other person, like the young lady that I listened to tonight, that she is still a virgin. She looks like she's 27, 8, 9, or something like that. We've got to talk about it. We've got to discuss it. All right. We talk about attitudes and happiness, and then we talk about communication. What is your communication style? How well are you with listening? Amen. We got to talk about it, because that is a top 3 issue that people that are married are dealing with. And so tomorrow night, hopefully I'll be able to get that done. But I'm working on a workbook right now where we talk about relationship and communication, because that is one of those places that if we could ever get and bridge that gap, and if we could ever understand each other, then that's going to help the marriage to get back on track with everything else. Dating 101 is fire. Thank you, Deirdre. Thank you so much. Dating 101 will change your life. Thank you. Yes, it's on site. Go over Marriage Makes 3. Wow. You can get it tonight. It's 5 hours.
Why you quarantine?
Yes. Dating 101, Dateology will bless your life.
So when you're ready to come out of this, you will be.
You'll know what to do. You know what to look for. You'll know where to look.
Come out armed.
And dangerous.
Anything that survived the quarantine.
It's fair game. But you need to know which one you want.
Yeah.
Okay? Get on get the dating from the whole 9.
And it's odd that we were talking the other day about Corona babies.
Yes.
Yep. That during the quarantine.
Yep.
Like after World War II, the soldiers came. Johnny came marching home. A whole lot of babies.
Yes.
Baby boomers.
Yes. And whenever there's a big snowstorm and everybody's stuck inside because of the blizzard.
9 months later, it's going to be real busy at the hospital.
We talk about bridging the gender gap, conflict management, spiritual intimacy, remarriage, if relevant for you. We talk about blending families, if that is relevant for you. So please, ma'am, please, sir, go over to Marriage Makes 3. Find that Symbus. You will see it. It looks just like this.
Yeah. It's one of the best things that you can ever do for your marriage. One of the best things you can do. If you don't do anything else, I'd love for you to be able to see that. Go to the link and you can see it.
9 months from now, it's gonna be a baby named Coronavirus. You're probably correct. You're probably right. All right. So, guys, again, I'm Pastor Michelle. This is my sweet husband, Pastor G. We're spiritual relationship counselors. We are veterans of the United States Air Force. Your go-to couple
for all things relationship.
Get your free 15-minute encounter session at Marriage Makes 3, or you can check the link in the bio, bit.ly/MM3LINKS, and there we will be able to give you a tool and a strategy that's going to help you to be better when it comes to your relationship. Y'all, again, come on back tomorrow night. We're here Tuesday through Thursday between 9 and 9:30-ish Central Standard Time. We're giving you tools to help you to get your relationships on and popping. Don't forget to follow us here, Periscope, Instagram. But y'all ain't following us on Instagram. You need to, what you doing with your life? We've got some amazing stuff going on over on our Instagram page. It will bless you and we will crack you up, right? So, again, thank you so much for being a part of our broadcast. Remember what we always say here.
God loves
And you.
and we love you.
Do we?
We do.
Yeah, I guess
we
do.
do. Even our friends in the Philippines.
Yes.
Our friends in Jersey, where they are
Canada.
They got dealing with curfews and other cities. We love you guys. Be safe in Georgia. Be safe and out there in Cali. Yeah. Please stay in. Yeah. Stay in. Stay safe.
Yes.
We love you guys.
And wash your hands.
We love you, and ain't a thing you can do about it. Up in here.
Love you guys. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Insta family. Appreciate y'all so much.
All right. Thank you. Love you. We're first, and so we're gonna leave here last with you. Thank you for the photo. Thank you, Deirdre. Kimmy. Appreciate you. Did you get your photo, Kimmy? You got it. Love you.
Love y'all.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.